know from speaking to the students who were with her. It seems she might have, that as they were just out, people go out to the beach all the time, right? And they go out on the pier, they walk around. So the kids were out doing normal things people do in the neighborhood. And it sounds like this might have been a wrong place, wrong time, running into a person who had a gun. They might have startled this person at the end of the pier unintentionally.
Stop. So this is not indifference. Mm-hmm. This is worse. This is justification. Listen to what she's saying. Here's a Chicago alderwoman who's now just saying, might have startled somebody with a gun. You're not supposed to have a gun in Chicago. What do you mean, startled somebody with a gun? When was the last time you heard anybody on the left just pass by someone with a gun and didn't blame it on the gun and the person with the gun? Well, here's one. So, clear justification of what happened. Wrong place, wrong time. You're blaming her for being at a place where she should be safe? Wrong place, wrong time. You know who was there in the wrong place, the wrong time? The illegal. Shouldn't have been there. Should have been in a completely different country. So we have this being said, and then all the people that agree with these things shrugging. And quite honestly, many on our side, because we're so damn tired of it, we shrug too. Now that's going to happen anyway. That's extraordinarily dangerous. We have corruption, deep beyond this, deep beyond Watergate, theft from the taxpayer that is bigger than all Bernie Madoff scandals ever done combined. It's been exposed. What's happening? What is happening? That was my question.
Tom Connors here. How can I help you, sir?
Why are leaders justifying it?
Aha, a little soiree. I'll put the word out now.
Warning light. So last night, I'm like, okay, so let me go back in history and see what happens when the average Joe begins to shrug off massive corruption and the government doing things it's not supposed to do, and people just like, whatever. Well, you find it when regimes of any ideology begin to believe they are in a final struggle. Something shifts. The rules change. The restraints come off. The norms, the quiet agreements that hold societies together, they're no longer seen as virtues. They're seen as obstacles. Let me take you to the late stages of revolutionary movements. In France, okay? French Revolution, imprisonment, suspicion alone. And all of the language was moral. Justification was survival. The result was what we call the reign of terror. And it went on and on and on at the gallows. Oh, I'm sorry, not the gallows, the guillotines. Russia, 1917. Bolsheviks moved quickly from political opposition to political elimination. No debate, liquidation. Within a very short period of time, newspapers were shut down, dissent was criminalized, entire categories of people labeled enemies of the state and killed.
13.
Happened in Germany, same way. In Iran, 1979. By the way, notice all of these have a collective and or Marxist element to all of these revolutions. 1979, the revolution was sold broadly. Different factions, okay? Different hopes. You had the students, Marxists, and then you had the clerical hardliners. You had all of the people in the mosques. They all got together. Then the Allies became traitors, and courts became instruments, and the revolution devoured all of the Marxists. Different ideology, different languages, same pattern. When a movement believes, the stakes are existential. The opposition is not just wrong, but illegitimate and dangerous. And this might be the last chance to get it right. Then restraint is no longer rewarded. Acceleration is. Now, both sides are in that situation. Both sides. We both think if the other side gets into power, we're doomed. Right? We both think that. This is where, it's not where we are yet. It's where we could easily be in the next 2 election cycles just based on what I'm seeing. Okay? What are the Democrat powers saying right now? That when they get in, there will be trials, arrests, and we have to stop these people from ever gaining power again. We have to teach them a lesson. This dehumanizing authoritarian language really began hardcore with teeth in the COVID era, when doctors and nurses both said, you know, we should let these people die. We shouldn't treat these people because they won't go along with the political mandates. And it has gotten much worse, and nobody paid for that, because with COVID, we cried out, but collectively, the whole world went, whatever. When you're hearing language that reframes fellow citizens as threats to democracy, enemies from within, and people who must be dealt with, that's not normal political rhetoric. That's preparatory language. It softens the ground. And let me take one of those. The enemies are within. I use that language when I tell you the Islamists are here. When I say the Islamists are here, the enemy is already here. It's already within our gates. What does that imply? What am I saying with that? We're dead. If we don't pay attention to this and get this ideology out, we're dead. What else does that imply? That if we don't act reasonably now, we are going to have, I've said it even, we will be at war with Islamists. We will, in our own country. So when you hear a politician or anybody on the left talk about somebody on the right, or the right talk about somebody on the left, and they say they're the enemy within, you should understand that automatically to people puts you in the state of understanding that this is life or death. This is a final battle. I hope to deal with it one way, but if we have to, we'll deal with it another. Then when legal systems begin to be discussed as tools to correct political outcomes, that's a whole nother shift. When speech becomes something to regulate, not because it's false, but because it's dangerous to the preferred outcome, you no longer have a debate over ideas. You are in a debate over permission. And that is no longer a free country. It is so outrageous. As I was reading the history and I saw what is coming our way, it was so outrageous to me that it's hard to believe it could even happen here. But that's why it has such a good chance of happening here, because people will not see or pay attention to the warning signs. You know, over 10 years or maybe 15 years ago, I clearly stated over and over again, we will see the hatreds of the 1930s Germany on our own streets and synagogues here in the United States. And it will happen faster than people will believe. And I was called all kinds of names. You're a kook, that's crazy, it's never going to happen. Well, it's here. And it doesn't.
Made to the humble board, huh? Oh, okay. Yeah. Bouillon. Bouillon. Kuna kanu kuku.
Alright, single malt. Better than this. Deep breath.
That's a Girl Scout cookie, huh?
Oh, I think you have plenty already.
Oh, every time I think about them, man. Woo, woo. I just love what them boy. I just be just head over heels for Girl Scout cookie year. Well, you there, your time of the year. Girl Scout cookie.
A word to the wise kids: never use PCT. It makes you want to punch cocks or run around
Yeah.
naked, not
I like
necessarily
peanut
in
butter.
that order. Most of the time, this illicit cargo makes it straight to the game. But sometimes an ordinary Joe lets go and loses his shit.
Nah, like I told you, cause now they got different reasons why they do this, you know.
The Vagos, bloodthirsty Chicanos with a predilection for pain.
This is all about about making money now. And what they're doing now is the ingredients and change because the ingredients is almost like a certain time of year they need to hit you with them cookies to give you whatever fuck they're getting you when they give when they give you them cookies because they give you something bad. I'm just being honest because the last time I ever had them cookies was a long time ago. And that's when they changed the ingredients. And I was like, oh hell no, this something ain't right about this. Yeah, something ain't right about this. But again, all you gotta do is go Google it. You heard me? All you gotta go do is Google it, and it's gonna tell you what what it's called it's like a cult. Everything is like a goddamn cult. Somebody running some type of shit on the people, shit. But guess what? We're gonna be in St. Francis, we ain't gonna be running nothing with nobody. We're gonna be doing everything with common sense because as soon as you come around there with some shit that don't make no sense, we're gonna tell you to move around. When Joe was talking, Joe said, yeah, John's gonna work. I said, dog, like I said, you the best part to the piece of this puzzle because ain't nothing gonna be sold. Everything gonna be leased. Everything.